Hello, truth seekers. This is May Blake. Welcome to my coffee house where we try to promote a culture of truth seeking, being the best person we can be, and intellectual honesty and civil conversation. I was not planning on making a video about Charlie Kirk for two main reasons. The first one is I wasn't particularly a fan of his. I was familiar with who he was, and I've seen a couple of his stuff, but I didn't really, get too deep into his content. Just, clips and pieces. Second reason is because I felt like the only thing there was to say about his assassination was kind of obvious. And it doesn't make sense to me to make a video about things that are obvious because, to me, they're obvious. However, I watched a video that reminded me that what is obvious to one individual may not be obvious to everybody else. This video is called Charlie Kirk's Death Exposed the Biggest Scam in History by Chase Hughes. And one of the things this video talks about, basically what this gets down to is it's not about Charlie Kirk. This is about a deeper problem where the media and the social media, the people who run it all, have a tendency to show us only the most extreme examples and the most fringe examples of people who hold any political sort of opinion or position. And because of this, it sort of puts a wedge in between the left and the right politically, in a lot of ways. And a lot of people don't fall for that. They know that, hey, just because I'm right-wing and you're left-wing, or the other way around, that doesn't mean we're bad people. It doesn't mean we don't care about people equally. It just means we have a difference of opinion about a few things. Maybe about how to make the world a better place. Maybe there are a few specific issues where maybe we disagree on morality, but overall we think the same things. But there are a lot of people, because of media and social media, who don't realize that people on the opposite side of the political spectrum are actually very, very similar to them. Now, Chase Hughes asserts that it has all the hallmarks of a psyop or something like that. The idea that the government is doing this on purpose to cause turmoil between us and divide us. But I'm not going to be talking about that. What I want to talk about is this idea that well, okay, let me put it this way. Something that both my husband and someone that I work with have been complaining about over the last 2 days is how there are many people that are cheering Charlie Kirk's death. They think that he deserved to die, and that's kind of fucked up to a lot of people. Even people who are left-wing, even people who didn't like Charlie Kirk's politics. The idea is that just because we don't like someone's politics, that doesn't mean they deserve to die. And both of them are pretty upset about how many people are cheering for this. And one of my coworkers in particular was very, very upset about how many people were saying he deserved to die. And something I was thinking, but to me that was the obvious thing, that again, I wasn't going to say it until Chase Hughes made this video and I realized that I should state the obvious. I've kind of realized that the worst of the worst people will engage happily on the internet, and the average everyday person doesn't necessarily have anything to say. So, of course, we're going to be seeing a lot of people who express cheerfulness and approval at someone being shot. But I don't know that this is most people. I think most people can agree that killing someone is wrong, even if we don't like their ideas. But it can be really grating and draining when you see someone, not just someone, but lots of people all over the place on a regular basis expressing something abhorrent. So what I want to get across is that I don't think most people are okay with this death. So if you're one of those people who know that it's wrong, and you're frustrated because everyone is cheering, it's okay. You're not alone. I'm pretty sure those people are the minority. Now, maybe they're not. And if you're watching this, by the way, please let me know in the comments how you, what you think about Charlie Kirk's murder. If you think that it's okay or good riddance or whatever it is, let me know. If you think it was wrong and he didn't deserve to be shot to death, let me know. And if you could, in addition to that, also let me know your relative political leanings, that would be cool. Not that it's like a perfect survey or anything like that, but it would at least be one possible opening to find out maybe I'm wrong, maybe more people approve of this than I thought. And if you find it hard to describe your political leanings, maybe you don't fit neatly under one label, you can go ahead and say that. You know, explain that your political leanings are complicated. I'm not personally moved by this, but it seems to me to be pretty clearly wrong that he got shot to death, presumably by someone who simply didn't like his politics. And other people are saying the same thing. It's all over the internet, plenty of people showing support for him, plenty of people, even people on the left, who are saying, I don't approve of this. So, like, it's okay, we're not doomed. I don't think that we're doomed. I think that there are always going to be nasty people, and in the world we live in, those nasty people have their voices raised up and bombard everybody else. It's the nature of the world that we live in now isn't that it's necessarily this bad, it's that we see that it's this much worse. So try to relax a little bit, try to be at peace. Someone very loved and very valued died, and a lot of people are rallying behind him and behind the family he left behind for support. I don't know what more I can say other than this, but I did want to show you, I bookmarked a few clips, so I want to show you that. It's 2 clips from the Chase Hughes video. So give me just a second here. Alright, so oops. This is the video. Charlie Kirk's death exposed, the biggest scam in history, by Chase Hughes. Alright, we're gonna jump to this bookmark. 350.
Turned on cable news today. You go in your living room, turn it on. Maybe you scroll social media. What are you going to see? The absolute fringe. They're going to show you the loudest, dumbest, most cartoonish people from the other side blasted in your face 24/7. You're not being shown your neighbor or your coworker or the mom next door who votes differently. You're being shown a bunch of professional lunatics that are handpicked to make you think one thing. And the one big thing that they want you to think is, oh my God, these people are insane. They are the enemy. That's the reason that we're going downhill. And none of this is an accident. This is word for word text.
Okay. That one. And then this one.
Was right. It was always about the people versus the powerful. So here's the starting point. It's just sanity. Just plain, everyday, common sense sanity. And ask yourself, do you genuinely want political opponents murdered in the streets? Do you want your neighbor dragged through the mud because they voted differently? Of course you don't, because you're a sane human. Neighbor dragged through the mud because they voted differently. Of course.
I accidentally paused the wrong thing, so I had to rewind the video. By the way, this is the reason, this part right here is why I'm making this video.
You don't, because you're a sane human being. And that means that you're okay. And sanity right now is the most rebellious act that you can commit in this country for right now. Sanity is refusing to let CNN or Fox News or Twitter decide who your enemies are. It's looking across the aisle that's probably imaginary and saying, you know what, I disagree with your ass, but you're not the devil. Sanity is truly openly saying violence is not politics. Violence becomes the death of politics. And true sanity is seeing just the weird idiots on the news and realizing that's not the norm. That is a cartoon. that's curated for you. And the second that you stop playing the outrage game and you refuse to cheer for blood, which I hope you didn't do, you're already breaking the spell if you're there.
The second that you stop cheering for blood and turn towards sanity, you start breaking the spell.
Genuinely believe in my heart that sanity is contagious. And when one person refuses to take the bait, the echo chamber starts cracking a little bit. 10 people refuse. It starts breaking open a little bit more. And let me be super clear here. When millions of people, if this were to happen, or were to refuse, the machine will collapse. I guarantee it. We don't need permission to stop being pawns on the board.
So there you go. I'm not against you because you have different politics than me. I have plenty of friends who are left-wing. If someone that I couldn't stand got shot, like Shank Uger, can't stand him, I wouldn't cheer for that. I am choosing to be sane, and I hope that you'll join me.
The minute that you decide right now that you will not be programmed into hatred, then you have started to win. And that's the first step to being sane, and it starts with you. Mr. Charlie Kirk, his death was a mirror for all of us. And it's a mirror showing us how that we have fallen, because when we see murder being celebrated, when we see neighbors that are treated like enemies, that's the signal. And I think the good news here is that the machine only works if we feed it. It only runs on our clicks and our outrage and our...
I think that's good enough there. So that should be good enough there. If you are left-wing, or a Democrat, or anything like that, and you say that you're for love, peace, tolerance, unity, that you fight against prejudice and bigotry, all that stuff, please don't be hateful. It's kind of hypocritical. Whether you're religious or not, I do think that there is something to be said about the biblical concept that you should love your enemies. Love your enemies. I get that it's hard, but please at least acknowledge that if you're cheering for the death of a political figure, not even a politician, but just a political commentator, that you're not in the right place. That's all. If you value this content, please consider subscribing and or leaving a comment and or giving me a like so that you can help the algorithms. I'm currently working through a rut of perfectionism that's stopping me from actually publishing content. I've got multiple things I'm working on, and I'm trying to just convince myself to actually publish it. Convince myself it's good enough to go ahead. So here you go. This is going to be unedited, and just going to put this up here because it's relative to what's happening now. It's time sensitive. Things are kind of heated and tense at the moment. So here you go. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate your time.